Travel along, Catholic pilgrims, as we read letters from the voyages of St. Frances Cabrini as she traveled around the Western Hemisphere sharing the good news of Christ. Welcome, Catholic pilgrims. Today, Mother and her sisters will be off for Nicaragua. Everything is going well until at night a serious storm hits. Mother Cabrini describes how the waves are like mountains and the steamer is in deep valleys. And for me, that is one of the most terrifying experiences I can think of. But what does Mother Cabrini and the sisters choose to do? Pray. They pray fervently. I think the last line of today's letter is the most important to focus in on. She likens the terrible storm to a soul agitated with remorse and pride, but that never finds God. Let's hear all about the start of this voyage by turning to page 61. The 10th of October arrived in haste, and everything was ready for the continuation of the voyage. The staterooms were visited and the places destined for the sisters prepared for them. On the eve of our departure, the Archbishop, who is most kind and shows so much affection for our institute, came again to console us with his presence and to comfort and encourage us on the new journey that awaits us. He gave us one of those heartfelt sermons which sink deeply into the soul, and then gave benediction of the Blessed Sacrament, which was preceded by the Ave Maris Stella and the Tantum Ergo, and sung with great fervor by the sisters who were leaving. This was followed by a prayer to Our Lady. His Grace afterward entertained us very kindly, and his holy words were a source of great comfort, whilst he assured us that he would pray for us every day during the voyage, so that Our Lady and the angels might accompany us. His secretary, Monsignor MacDonald, assured us also of his most fervent prayers and wishes for a prosperous voyage, and hoped it would be perfectly happy. During the same day, till late in the evening, many good and pious persons came to say goodbye and to wish us a successful voyage. Even the next day, some came on board the steamer to pay their compliments and express kind wishes for our journey. But while we were talking with great animation, the hour of departure arrived. At 10 a.m., we were on board the steamer, which is called the New York, of the Pacific Mail Line. The agent was very good and assigned a stateroom for every two sisters and a separate one for me. The berths are not so small as those of the transatlantic steamers, but rather large and comfortable. The staterooms open into the parlor salons so that the sisters can go from their berths to the lounge room without danger of falling, even when it is rough and stormy, for we do not expect this voyage to be as smooth and as beautiful as the last, seeing that we are dealing with a new mission, which needs great graces, and therefore new sacrifices to render us more worthy of it. The sisters were accompanied by many kind persons. A distinguished and excellent Irishman presented us and warmly recommended us to the captain. At 1 p.m., the anchor was raised, and we glided slowly out of the port, while the sisters and friends waved their handkerchiefs. We also did the same for about a quarter of an hour, until the distance made sisters and things imperceptible, and as the steamer steered further down the bay, we lost sight of everyone and found ourselves abandoned to the relentless waves. Till evening, we coasted along the shore, which we should have done all night, I believe, had not a terrific storm arisen which threatened to dash the boat and all it contained to pieces. At one moment, the boat rolled from side to side with such force as to threaten to capsize. The sisters could hardly keep in their berths. I arose and dressed in haste to save them all, hoping at least to die together. Our luggage rolled about in all directions, like so many animated objects. There was nothing to stop it. No one could keep still, not even if seated on the floor. The sea swelled in an extraordinary way. The waves formed mountains as if by magic. One could see, as it were, deep valleys between them. The steamer seemed lost amidst these mountainous precipices of the water. The wind worked havoc on deck and threatened to split the cabins, but limited its caprice to the doctors only. The following day, the poor doctor had to wear somebody else's clothes, his own having been drenched and ruined. The captain had all the sailors and staff at work as a last resource to save all on the boat, and he only succeeded by steering the vessel towards mid-ocean and sailing across it for more than a day. In the meantime, the sea became calm, and then we were able to resume the ship's proper route, from which we had only sailed 40 miles. But God be praised, for during the terrible storm, as the captain told us, no one was lost or hurt. During this tempest, not one of the sisters was frightened. All remained quietly in bed, ready to perish quietly, but under the bedclothes. I stayed up all night in the stateroom, from which I could see the sisters resting, and thus we mutually encouraged one another. I was attentive, however, to every movement, for if there had been any danger, they would have been obliged to dress and try to save themselves when called upon. In the meantime, I was praying to Our Lady of the Holy Rosary, in whose month we were voyaging. Then I lighted the candle of Our Lady of Laredo, so efficacious against sea storms, and our most Holy Mother did really come to our aid, delivering us from the extreme danger which surrounded us. Oh, how good is Mary! How sweet and amiable! The earth is full of her goodness. All the centuries have witnessed the wonderful and merciful works of her blessed hands. Do we not frequently experience how she evidently loves and protects us? Like a mother full of compassion for each one of us, she pitied us who, in our danger, invoked her with faith. Oh, what a joy to be children of such a mother! We shall always recall the wonders of her love. We then prayed to St. Aloysius to send angels from heaven to save us from the dangers we thought to be imminent, and he, having compassion on us, who undertake all our works in honor of his centenary, sent us immediate aid, and now we enjoy a very quiet, calm, and smooth sea. Yesterday, the sea looked like a soul, agitated by remorse and pride, who never finds peace with God. Did you imagine that storm in your mind as I was reading? Ugh, it just sounds awful. Truly terrifying, but all turned out okay in the end. It'll be day 5 on the sea when we meet back here next. And until then, live the faith boldly and travel well.